Hello, everybody. I hope you all can hear me. I am speaking on. No, I'm looking for the lamp. Hello, everybody. I hope you all can hear me. Um, I'm going to be speaking. I'm going to be speaking about the conditions and that what we are facing here at the Woodlawn Terrace Apartments. Um, we are dealing with deplorable conditions. Um, so many things. Rats, mice, mold, everything that you could think of imaginable. Um, we have been dealing with, um, still currently is dealing with, and so now we are continuing to deal with these conditions here in these apartments. So again, guys, we are continuing to deal with um, deplorable conditions, rats, mice, mold, you name it, we're dealing with here at the Woodlawn Terrace Apartments here in Shreveport, Louisiana. This is my first time doing this. Bear with me. I seem like I'm looking down, but I'm actually trying to look into the camera. So again, these apartments again are located here in Shreveport, Louisiana. Again, we are dealing with deplorable, horrible living conditions. I've been exposing these conditions for months now. Also, we're dealing with poor management. We're living under fraudulent scam ownership. We're dealing with every injustice you can think of possible as a renter here in this apartment complex. We are dealing with, again, no repairs being made in the apartments. These unlawful evictions, they're evicting renters because they're choosing not to pay. Why would renters pay to a fraudulent management company, a fraudulent scam ownership? So this is what we're dealing with. We're dealing with a fraudulent company, a fraudulent management company. We've been dealing with this forever for the last 8 months. We were lied to multiple times, saying we were under new ownership. Come to find out, we wasn't under new ownership, and this was really bad, y'all. This has been really bad, a terrible experience for many of us here um, at our apartment complex here in Shreveport, Louisiana. I know we as renters face so many different issues for us being a renter in this country or being a renter in generally speaking. Some are afraid to speak out due to retaliation from landlords. Others are afraid to speak because of what they're going to face, whether they're going to stay in their units or afraid of getting put out by the landlord. But I've been the voice for months in these apartments, guys. I've been exposing the conditions, exposing just the corruption within the leasing office, just the crimes that's been committed within the leasing office for us, the fraudulent and scam um, ownership. They lied to us for months saying we were under new owners. Come to find out we wasn't really under new owners. And it's been injustices on all for I say injustice on every level dealing for us with us as renters here in these apartments. Um, we have brought the news in here multiple times. I brought the news in here multiple times, exposing these conditions, and now, for us now, we're focusing more now on the criminal side of everything, as far as the criminal aspect of everything. Um, Many of these people have nowhere to go once they were evicted. And what we're still trying to understand is how are these evictions being allowed to go through within the city of Shreveport due to the fact that we're under this fraudulent scam ownership. So that's the main question at hand tonight, guys. Truly, we have been scammed for months. Some pay regular rent. Basically, we were paying rent to a non-existent business, which is fraud. I mean, and then they were collecting COVID-19 money. They were collecting um, COVID-19 money and all of that, and I don't understand. I will never understand the fact of how these evictions are even being allowed to go through. That is very shady to me, very improper for our city policies concerning evictions. Um, this has just been um, a heartbreaking experience, uh, a heartbreaking experience, very sad experience, and just y'all, it's been absolutely horrible. And not to mention the evictions that's being allowed to take place under this fraudulent scam ownership. Um, they said that the property switched over to new owners, which in fact it never did. I have paperwork, I have documentation proving it, backing up everything I'm saying with this, what I'm saying on this live tonight. Again, Yardstream is amazing. Definitely check out the site, guys. You can actually upload. You're actually on YouTube as we speak, so you don't have to wait for 1,000 views and just to get on YouTube. So now they have a new website called Yardstream, and where you can actually upload to YouTube at the same time being on Yardstream. So this to StreamYard. So it's pretty cool. So this is my first time checking it out. It's pretty awesome. It rocks, man. And so, um, and again, I say we've been under fraudulent ownership for months in these apartments, for months. Um, we've been under this fraudulent ownership. Just everything, guys. I hope to gain more viewers as I continue to go. I'm gonna start now going with StreamYard. It's pretty cool. And so again, I'm exposing and I'm sharing with you all what we've been dealing with as far as renters here in this apartment complex. Not just the fraudulent scam ownership. I believe also the mayor has failed us in every way. The mayor of Shreveport hasn't failed us. He's failed us. I was so hurt and so upset when I walked into that city council meeting. I could not believe. And I want to thank I want to thank this one particular brother who sits on the city council. Amazing dude. Was the only one who spoke up, truly spoke up, and didn't have to wait for someone else to speak. We were failed for months at this complex, even by our city mayor. So don't tell us what we cannot say and what we can't say. Exposing is the name of the game. And that's what's gonna create, that's what makes change. That's what creates change in our cities and within our nation. The corruption is terrible here in the city of Shreveport. Terrible. Um, and again, we as renters, especially renters, face many injustices every day, whether it be no repairs being made, the landlord's taking forever to fix your stuff, then they want to evict you because you're exposing their properties, and so many things, guys, we face as renters in this country. But again, I am putting on blast. I am putting on blast our apartment complex. I've been doing it for months. Nothing has changed. No renovations. Very slow progress with that. And over a year, we've been dealing with these deplorable conditions, and still are dealing with these deplorable conditions. We are also dealing with um, Now, on the criminal part of it, you got people who's now being evicted from this apartment complex under this fraudulent scam ownership, Woodreal Estates LLC, and that's who they claim to be. And again, I say the injustices and the crime in all this. These evictions should have never been allowed to take place. Yeah, we understand the renters have to pay rent. We understand that. But under a false ownership, under a false apartment complex ownership, that is what we're trying to. That is what we're speaking of. How are these evictions even being allowed to take place? This is the main question at hand, people. Make sure you know who your real property owners are, wherever you rent at, whatever state you're in. You make sure they're legitimate. And if you find out in any little way, I don't care what it is, if you find out your property owner is not legitimate, that's when you blow the whistle. You guys are on that property, you're paying rent, and come to find out months later, he's not all or she's not all who she said she was. You see what I'm saying? Fake addresses, phony P.O. boxes, phony fake offices, non-legitimate offices that don't even exist, fake parking lots, empty buildings, fake buildings. Where do they do that at? You know, where do they do that at? So I'm letting everybody know tonight. You make sure you know who your real property owners are. And you make sure of that. Only you're the renter, so we have to start investigating more now, I see, as far as these property owners, fraud, scams, all that is happening even with landlords. They gain your trust. Make sure you pay your rent on the first, and make sure you pay your rent on time. You're good with them. As soon as you miss one payment, as soon as you start missing some months as far as paying rent, you're no longer good with them. We're paying for their mortgage. We're paying for their loans. We're basically taking up the slack from what they failed in doing, in paying their own property taxes, failing to pay their own loans back. That's why they get renters. We're basically their ducks. We're paying for their loans. We're paying for their mortgages. We're paying for what they failed in paying. So when renters move out, or when people start moving out of complexes and start moving out, that's why they hurrying up. That's why they quickly try to get other folks in these apartments, because they know fully well. You have a lot of tenants moving out of an apartment complex. That's really bad. That's really bad. We have to start focusing more on being homeowners. Stop renting. And I have been wanting to stop renting for the last 5 years. But due to the housing crisis and the rental market now, it's hard to buy homes. Foreclosures are at its highest. I get the house of my dreams, only to find later on I can't afford the mortgage. The mortgage has skyrocketed. Don't nobody want to be put out in the cold. That's why we have rights as renters and rights as homeowners. You best believe we do. Know your rights as a renter in this country. Know your rights as renters and also as homeowners. My dream for this year is to be a homeowner. Rent, what's the name? What's that? I have been a renter for over 10 years. When will I be able? I want to be able to own something. I want to own my own house. I want that beautiful backyard, that beautiful brick house. That is the American dream, right? I want to live in a middle class neighborhood. I'm exactly. And you get tired of living in the slums. The ghetto. You got to hear gunshots all goddamn night. You around a terrible environment. A terrible environment. Drugs and all kind of stuff. And I tell everybody, just because you live in the ghetto, like they say, just because you live in the ghetto don't mean you have to portray yourself or continue to live in that environment. We choose to live, but we have to live what we can afford. Your credit has to be top of the line to own a house. Many people have student loans. That's what's crippling us. We have student loans. That is what's crippling us from getting home. So thankfully with the Biden administration, with the student loan relief debt being cleared, that should open some more doors for me, and I pray you as well. Because for years, and I tell everybody, when you get these student loans, they are with you. They are with us for years. The loans don't go away. But thankfully, to this new program and to this new student loan debt relief, that's going to erase loans that people have had for umpteen years. Now your record is clean. You can go get that house you want, go get that car you want. That is my hope for this new year. And also standing up, and I will say this: standing up for what is right, standing up towards injustice, especially in public housing, where our rights continue to be violated up in here in this apartment complex. And again, I asked the question tonight: how are these evictions even being allowed to go on under this fraudulent ownership? Yeah, that's the question we all are asking. What's up with that? They know as well as I know it shouldn't be happening, especially when you're having conflict of owners. Okay, who owns the property? Who sold the property? I don't know. You see what I'm saying? Exactly. So I don't see how these evictions have been allowed to be granted, how these evictions were even allowed to occur. Also, and I'm gonna share this real quick. You renters that was evicted from over here, you have a lawsuit and you have a civil suit. Don't settle for the civil suit. You have a lawsuit. You were never supposed to have been evicted, especially when there's conflict in ownership. Oh, I'm doing my homework. When there is a conflict in property owners at a particular apartment complex or a house, what does that mean for you as a renter? You got it. So they cannot hold you accountable for non-payment of rent if you don't know who the owner is. And half that time that'd be scams and be fraud. How do you expect people to pay rent to a fraudulent ownership? That's a question that needs to be answered tonight. You all leave your comments below. Tell me what you think about the situation over in our apartments. Definitely inhumane conditions. We're still under living with horrible conditions. So yeah. So I'm gonna get off of here, guys. I'm gonna upload this, see how this turns out. You all have a blessed night. Keep God first, and don't give up on your dreams. Peace.